This is absolutely the most intense zombie movie in recent years and also the most unique zombie blockbuster in film history. The zombies in this film have thoughts and emotions, can even reproduce, and know martial arts. Not only does it feature a domineering and arrogant zombie tiger, but also a zombie king who can catch bullets and possesses high martial arts skills, leading the entire zombie army on a zombie warhorse. Moreover, it includes the world's most stunning zombie queen and a zombie baby who is born and dies prematurely, making it truly hair-raising. Directed by Zack Snyder and costing $580 million, it is Army of the Dead. The story begins. Several trucks leave the mysterious Area 51 base in the United States, escorting a mysterious experimental box to another base. Due to the high confidentiality of the base's mission, even the team doesn't know what's inside. The soldiers and the driver responsible for escorting it are all guessing. With such a large entourage, it might be a nuclear weapon or even an alien. However, the two are too busy chatting to pay attention to the road conditions. At this time, a newlywed couple is speeding on the opposite lane. If nothing unexpected happens, the two parties inevitably collide fiercely with a bang. The huge explosion blows the experimental box off the vehicle, causing the door to suddenly open. Because of the high confidentiality level, the soldiers don't know what's inside the box and can only urgently report the situation to their superiors, asking what to do. Their superiors become extremely nervous upon hearing this and immediately tell the team members not to worry about anything and to quickly run away. Unfortunately, it's too late. The artificially modified zombie progenitor in the experimental box naturally won't miss this opportunity and rushes out, starting to kill indiscriminately. The soldiers are terrified and hurriedly pull the trigger, but it's completely ineffective. The progenitor is agile, bloodthirsty, and can easily dodge bullets. In the blink of an eye, the entire squad is wiped out, and the soldiers bitten to death by the zombie king also turn into zombies, following the progenitor. Ahead of them lies the vibrant and bustling Las Vegas, indicating an unprecedented zombie crisis is about to erupt. At this time, the people in the gambling city are still indulging in a life of luxury and excess, unaware that the zombie virus has already begun to spread throughout the city. Those bitten will turn into zombies within 3 seconds. Overnight, everyone in the casinos gives up gambling and takes to the streets. The government has no choice but to dispatch bombers to carpet bomb the entire city, but the effect is far from ideal. Even the ground forces with their powerful weapons find themselves in a dire situation. Soldiers on tanks can only signal their comrades to destroy them, choosing to perish alongside the zombies. However, after a series of intense bombings, they still cannot stop the spread of the zombie wave, and it's impossible to eliminate them completely in a short time. Since there are still uninfected survivors in the city, they cannot use weapons of mass destruction. With no other options, the military builds a wall of shipping containers around the city. As the last container falls into place, humans are completely separated from the zombies. The original zombie progenitor establishes himself as the king within the city. A year later, there are no more hiding survivors in the city, and the once bustling metropolis has completely turned into a zombie city. To prevent any mishaps, the military decides to launch a tactical nuclear missile in 72 hours to completely wipe out all the zombies. However, a wealthy man named Bly Tanaka panics upon hearing the news because he has a vault in the gambling city containing $1 billion. He approaches retired Special Forces soldier Scott, hoping he can assemble a team to retrieve the money, offering $200 million as a reward for the job. Initially, Scott doesn't want to take on this dangerous mission because he was one of the few who survived the gambling city. Not long ago, the last zombie he killed was his beloved wife. This brutal scene was witnessed by his daughter, who had just opened the door. Since then, his daughter has harbored a deep resentment towards him and has gone to volunteer at a quarantine camp. Scott has since become a chef at a burger joint, but the thought of $200 million, money he could never earn in multiple lifetimes, combined with his guilt towards his daughter, makes him consider using the money to improve her life and make amends. So, he tells Bly Tanaka that he's in. However, Scott doesn't know that this mission is actually a plan by the military, and even the zombie crisis a year ago was accidentally caused by the military. Considering the dangers in the gambling city, Scott knows he can't complete the mission alone. He offers a $50 million blank check and begins recruiting, quickly forming a suicide squad. Each member has special skills and has basically fought their way out of zombie hordes. The main members include Scott and Maria, and then there's the chainsaw-wielding madman Vandero. In the zombie circles, his real nickname is Godzilla. With countless zombies having fallen at his hands, the elite pilot Peters will take on any job as long as the pay is right. This guy, named Mikey Guzman, is a social media influencer who often sneaks into Las Vegas to live stream zombie fights, amassing a large following. Excited about the chance to enter the city center, he brings along his girlfriend. Then there's the genius locksmith Dieter. Though he lacks combat skills, he's the only person in the world who can crack the casino vault, making him an indispensable team member. Soon, the squad is fully assembled. Before departure, Bly Tanaka uses a model of Las Vegas to explain the mission. First, they can't rely on helicopters to fly into Las Vegas because air traffic is restricted, but no one monitors flights leaving the city. There's an abandoned rescue helicopter on a rooftop in the city. Each member must carry gasoline with them, and they have only 32 hours after entering the city. They need to fight their way through and then find the casino to restore power. After locating the vault, there are several deadly deterrent mechanisms at the end of the hallway, which they need to figure out how to trigger. Finally, locksmith Dieter will open the vault. Pilot Peters will repair the rooftop helicopter. The others will quickly load the money, and then everyone will meet on the rooftop and escape by helicopter. The plan sounds perfect. Bly Tanaka insists that his bodyguard accompany the team under the pretense of ensuring the safety of the funds, but in reality, the bodyguard has a hidden agenda: to infiltrate Las Vegas past the quarantine camp. Scott finds his daughter Kate, who volunteers there, and explains the entire situation to her. Since the money could help the refugees, Kate readily agrees. The next day, she brings the team to the quarantine camp and introduces them to Lily, who manages the camp's operations. The camp's gate guard, who controls the business of entering the city, is essential for their entry into Las Vegas. After setting things up for her father, Kate accidentally discovers that her good friend has sneaked into the city on her own, intending to grab some money from the casino, leaving behind two poor children who haven't seen her since. Seeing this, it's clear that Kate is about to stir things up. Just as the team is about to enter Las Vegas, Kate finds her father and insists on going in to rescue her friend. Even though she can't fight zombies and will obviously be a burden, she still wants to go. If her father doesn't agree, she'll sneak in on her own. There's always one troublemaker in every team. Despite Scott's reluctance, he can't persuade his daughter otherwise. He sighs and tells her not to cause trouble and to stay within his sight once they're inside. At this point, Lily, who has successfully entered and exited Las Vegas multiple times, bribes a quarantine camp guard with a $20,000 blank check to join their team to improve their chances of success. Once everyone is ready, Lily opens a hidden container door, officially entering the zombie city of Las Vegas. The city is littered with piles of dried corpses. Lily explains that these are the lowest class of zombies. They're not smart enough to avoid the sun during the day, so they get scorched and end up looking like this. However, when it rains, they'll revive, sprouting up like mushrooms after a shower. As the team ventures deeper, they suddenly hear low growls ahead. Everyone tenses up in fear. It's a zombie white tiger standing before them. The zombie tiger seems to sense the presence of humans but doesn't attack immediately. Instead, it locks eyes with Lily, then turns and leaves, leaving everyone puzzled. Lily understands and tells the group that this tiger guards the territory's border. To enter the core area safely, they either need to kill it or use the old method. Lily raises her gun and hits the camp guard in the leg, which she calls the old method. It turns out humans haven't been keeping zombies here. Instead, the zombies have already established their own kingdom. To pass through their territory, humans must provide a live human sacrifice to the zombie king each time they enter. This ensures the zombies won't trouble them. Maria argues that it's unnecessary. The zombies don't think. They should just kill them if they encounter any. Lily explains that the zombies here are divided into 3 levels. The first zombies are the Zombie King, representing the pinnacle of combat and intelligence. Those directly infected by the Zombie King become alphas. They are smarter, faster, more organized, and disciplined. Essentially a human nightmare and the aristocrats of the zombie world. Only those bitten by alphas become the most ordinary zombies. The team's actions have been exposed, and the only option is to offer a tribute to the Zombie King. Moreover, the guard at the quarantine camp has committed countless crimes, abusing his power to mistreat women and harm many young girls. Using his life as a sacrificial offering to the Zombie King to gain a passage for the team is fitting retribution for his sins. Hearing this, the teammates no longer hesitate. Just then, a roar echoes from not far away, and Lily quickly instructs everyone to hide. As soon as they take cover, 2 zombies appear from a distance, likely alphas based on their appearance. One of them, wearing a bikini, is the zombie queen. Seeing the offering on the ground, the queen lets out a satisfied roar, indicating that the group understands the rules. As long as they don't cause too much commotion, the zombies will turn a blind eye. The zombie queen has her minions drag away the offering. She glances at the group before leaving, with permission to enter the core area. The team hurries on, unaware that the Zombie King is observing their movements from atop the Statue of Liberty. The guard is taken to the zombie base, causing the zombie horde to howl in excitement. Just as the man is about to be torn apart, a commanding roar quiets the chaotic zombies. This is the authority of the Zombie King, who maintains strict control over the others. Despite the enticing offering, the Zombie King shows affection towards the queen, revealing himself to be a doting husband. He kneels, placing his ear against the queen's stomach, mimicking a human's action of listening to a baby. Moments later, The zombie king excitedly pumps his fist, indicating that the queen is pregnant with a zombie baby. He frequently listens to the queen's belly, hoping the baby will grow and be born soon. The zombie king's demand for human sacrifices isn't due to a lack of food but a desire to expand his army. He bites the man's arm, turning him into a zombie, and then pushes him into a dried-up pool, adding another member to his ranks. Though the team has offered a sacrifice, they choose to proceed indoors for safety. To their dismay, they find the place packed with zombies. These zombies are avoiding the sun, in a state akin to hibernation. If awakened, they will certainly overwhelm the team. Scott decides to take the lead, marking a path with glow sticks to guide the others without disturbing the zombies. The team turns off their lights and carefully follows the glowing markers on the ground. Never trusting the overseer Bly Tanaka inserted into the team, they decided to have him walk ahead, not realizing this decision would cost one of them their life. As they moved in sequence, the overseer started to make trouble, taking advantage of the others' inattention. He secretly threw glow sticks into densely packed zombie areas. Chambers' intuition proved correct. The overseer was indeed up to no good. Unaware of his actions, Chambers followed the glowing path alone into the zombie horde, carefully maneuvering through the dense cluster. However, she accidentally woke a zombie. In a split second, she pulled out a knife and successfully killed it. Facing other awakened zombies, she managed to take down 2, then 3 more. But Chambers didn't notice that when the bodies fell, one of their arms knocked over some cutlery, causing a loud noise that instantly awakened all the surrounding zombies. Sensing the dire situation, Chambers, now amidst the zombies, started firing her machine gun wildly, but there were too many zombies converging on her. The gunfire also awakened zombies near Scott and the others, forcing the team to raise their weapons and fight back. With the waking of one zombie prompting others, the team couldn't linger and had to shoot their way out while retreating. Chambers bravely fought her way through the horde. After finally breaking through the zombie encirclement, she discovered the hallway exit was locked by the overseer. When Mikey Guzman noticed his girlfriend was missing, he questioned the overseer, who falsely claimed there were too many zombies, and he couldn't protect her. During their argument, Chambers heroically broke through a window. By then, however, she was surrounded by zombies. Despite her valiant efforts, she soon ran out of bullets and was overwhelmed by the horde. Mikey Guzman, unable to help her, ended her suffering by shooting the fuel tank on her back, causing a massive explosion that took out all the surrounding zombies. Seizing the opportunity, the team escaped. After a lengthy trek, they finally reached the building containing the vault. After clearing a few scattered zombies, they found several blueprints for the vault, indicating that Bly Tanaka had previously sent several teams to retrieve the money, all of whom had perished. Bly Tanaka had never disclosed this information to them, revealing the mission's extreme danger. However, since they had reached this point, it wasn't time to confront him. To increase their chances of success, they began to split up and take on different tasks. Maria and Peters take the fuel cans to the rooftop to repair the evacuation helicopter, while Lily and the overseer stay outside the casino to keep watch and prevent zombies from approaching. Scott and Kate are responsible for starting the building's power system while fueling the generator. Scott apologizes to his daughter. He assumes she hasn't spoken to him for so long because he killed her mother. To his surprise, Kate reveals that it's not the killing that bothers her. She understands that their mother was infected and there was no other choice. What she resents is her father's abrupt departure afterward. Scott left because of his guilt, but after this conversation, the tension between father and daughter eases, and their relationship improves significantly. Once Scott successfully starts the building's generator, the city lights up. The remaining team members take the elevator to the floor where the vault is located, covering Dieter as he prepares to open it. After quickly clearing the zombies in their way, Dieter uses the access card provided by the overseer to open the metal door in the hallway. The vault door is now in sight, and Dieter eagerly prepares to demonstrate his skills. Suddenly, they notice the bodies of the previous team members who died trying to open the vault, indicating that this task is far from easy. Vandero begins to place explosives on the iron door. With a loud explosion, the pathway to the vault becomes unobstructed. Following Bly Tanaka's instructions, Vandero knows there are 3 lethal traps in the hallway that must be triggered using live creatures. Understanding this, Vandero heads downstairs via the elevator. Outside, Lily and the overseer, having evaded the zombie tiger, encounter the zombie queen and her attendant. Initially, the zombie queen shows no hostility, merely curious about what the team is up to. However, the overseer suddenly binds her with a rope. The queen's attendant becomes furious, quickly dodging bullets and tackling the overseer, attempting to bite him. Seeing the overseer in danger, Lily immediately opens fire, killing the loyal zombie attendant. With the queen struggling on the ground, the overseer drops his pretense and takes a reckless action that endangers the entire team. He pulls out a sharp wire and decapitates the queen. The queen's dying scream alerts the Zombie King. Lily is shocked and demands to know what he is doing, pointing out that they were only supposed to collect some of the queen's blood. Although Lily had an agreement with him, they had never discussed taking the queen's head. This reckless act has escalated the situation. The overseer smugly reveals that Bly Tanaka doesn't care about the money in the vault. His true mission is to obtain the head of the Zombie King or Queen to collaborate with the military and create a powerful, controllable army of the undead to rule humanity. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Lily urges everyone to retreat immediately. If the Zombie King discovers the queen is dead, none of them will leave the city alive. Meanwhile, in the vault, Vandero catches a zombie to trigger the traps in the hallway. However, the zombie refuses to cooperate, preferring to be shot in the head rather than fall for the trick. Frustrated, Vandero has no choice but to go back and try again. Learning from the last attempt, Vandero chose a younger zombie this time and brought real food, carefully heated in a microwave. He then let the zombie smell the aroma and threw the food towards the vault door. This tactic proved effective, as the zombie staggered towards the vault, triggering the first trap. Next, it stepped on the second trap, unleashing a hail of bullets. Despite being riddled with holes, the zombie felt no pain and continued moving forward. It even turned back with a smile before being crushed by the final trap, successfully disarming all the defenses. Now, it was the genius locksmith's time to shine. Meanwhile, the group upstairs received bad news. The military had moved up the nuclear strike by an entire day, leaving them with only 5,400 seconds to evacuate. Peters was also having trouble. The helicopter parts were old, and the engine caught fire as soon as he tried to start it. Shaking his head, Peters knew it would take significant time to repair. When Scott contacted Peters via radio to inform him of the new time constraint, Peters didn't share the bad news with them. The group then entered the underground vault to check on the progress. Unintentionally, they disrupted Dieter's lockpicking, causing him to lose his temper. He stressed the need for absolute concentration and silence, warning that another mistake could permanently seal the vault door.
How long will take you to it?
Dieter estimated he needed another half hour to complete the task and demanded absolute quiet during this period. Despite the urgency, it seemed they still had time. However, the Zombie King, having heard the Queen scream, rode his zombie warhorse to find his wife's body. Seeing her in such a state, the Zombie King was devastated, letting out a cry of despair as he pressed his ear to her belly. Finding no movement within, the Zombie King's anguished roar echoed as he carried the Queen's body back to their lair, desperately extracting an underdeveloped fetus from her womb. Hopes of saving it faded as the fetus lost all signs of life within seconds. The loss of both his lover and unborn child drove the Zombie King into a frenzy. Tears of emotion streamed down his face as he channeled his grief and rage into a desire for vengeance. In his fury, he summoned his undead army. The Queen's tragic death had incited widespread outrage, and the entire zombie horde mobilized, determined to make humanity pay dearly. Unaware of the impending storm, the Suicide Squad in the underground vault celebrated as Dieter successfully opened the vault door, revealing a mountain of cash. Everyone was overjoyed, stuffing money into their bags. Amidst the high spirits, Scott suddenly realized that his daughter was missing. It turns out that Kate left the team on her own, determined to storm the zombie lair and rescue her friend, whose fate was still unknown. She arrived just in time to see the Zombie King, mounted on his zombie warhorse, summoning the zombie white tiger and assembling the entire zombie army to charge towards the casino where the Suicide Squad was located. The zombie white tiger sat on the hood of the car, ensuring no one could escape. A frantic Scott realized that Kate must have gone to rescue her friend. At that moment, all he wanted was to find his daughter. Maria, worried about Scott's safety, decided to accompany him. The Zombie King led the entire zombie horde to surround the building where the humans were. A massive battle between humans and zombies was imminent. With a ding, the elevator door opened, and a zombie rushed out. Maria was the first to suffer. The zombie grabbed her head and, in front of Scott, snapped her neck. Scott was momentarily stunned, unable to comprehend the sudden appearance of so many zombies. He had no time to grieve and immediately opened fire on the approaching zombies, engaging in a fierce battle. Out of bullets, he resorted to hand-to-hand combat. These zombies were smarter and more agile than regular ones, with some even knowing martial arts. They dodged and blocked attacks, nearly costing Scott his life. Fortunately, Scott was a formidable fighter himself. Fueled by rage, he fought with extraordinary prowess. By the time the others arrived, all the zombies had been killed. Seeing that Maria was beyond help, Lily urgently dragged the despondent Scott away. They knew the place was extremely dangerous now. With the money in hand, there was no reason to stay. The team decided to use the emergency exit to reach the rooftop. However, the overseer, running ahead, locked the door, cutting off their escape route. With the zombie queen's head in his possession, the teen was no longer useful to him. His plan was to kill the pilot and take the helicopter for himself. Lily, however, hadn't given up hope. She planned to use a chainsaw to cut through a nearby wall to create another exit. But Vandero and Dieter were obsessed with the money. Despite the building being surrounded by zombies and an imminent nuclear strike, they still wanted to stay in the vault to grab more cash. Their greed proved fatal. The next moment, the Zombie King jumped down the elevator shaft, followed by more zombies. While regular zombies were easy to deal with, the Zombie King posed a real threat. Vandero and Dieter were at a loss. The Zombie King had come prepared, wearing a bulletproof helmet to protect his only weakness. By preventing headshots, he became truly invincible. Vandero signaled his partner to stop fighting. The Zombie King understood and removed his helmet, indicating a mutual respect between two strong opponents, and prepared for a one-on-one battle. Vandero, however, had overestimated his abilities. Their size and strength were on entirely different levels. The Zombie King was not only incredibly strong but also skilled in combat. Vandero couldn't break through his defense. Every attack from the Zombie King was a critical hit. Within 3 rounds, Vandero was completely overpowered. Just as Vandero was about to be turned into a zombie by the Zombie King, his companion intervened just in time to stop the transformation. He then forcefully shoved Vandero into the vault and closed the steel door, which couldn't be opened again, sacrificing himself as he fell into the hands of the Zombie King. During the chaos, the Overseer managed to escape outside. Suddenly, he realized something was wrong. Opening his backpack, he discovered that Lily had switched the contents. Coincidentally, the zombie tiger was waiting at the exit for someone like him. Before the Overseer could react, a massive paw strike sent him flying like a cannonball, severely injuring him upon impact. The tiger then began to maul him, tossing him around like a ragdoll. The scene was immensely satisfying to witness. In the face of the tiger's relentless assault, the Overseer stood no chance of defending himself and soon became tiger food. Meanwhile, inside, Lily finally cut through the wall and emerged into the casino hall. However, the area was already overrun by zombies. The 3 remaining team members had no choice but to open fire, hoping to carve a path through the horde. The sheer number of zombies proved overwhelming. Swarms of them attacked relentlessly, with gunfire lighting up the hall as the trio struggled in a desperate battle, nearly running out of ammunition. In the chaos, a zombie tore open Mikey Guzman's money bag, scattering bills everywhere. He was then tackled by a zombie and bitten on the arm. Realizing he was doomed and seeing the money flying around, Guzman decided to make his last moments count. He detonated all the grenades he had, choosing to take the zombies with him and buy his teammates some time to escape. The 2 surviving members took the elevator and finally reached the rooftop, only to find that the helicopter was still not ready, and the Zombie King had arrived. Fortunately, Lily had a backup plan. She quickly took out the Queen's head and used it to threaten the Zombie King, who immediately stopped advancing. Unwilling to risk harm to his queen, the Zombie King's love for the queen was evident. Even in her current state, he still wanted to save her. The helicopter finally started, and under Lily's cover, Scott managed to board it. Lily chose to stay behind and hold off the zombies. As the helicopter prepared to take off, the Zombie King, enraged by his wife being held hostage, roared in fury and threw a metal rod with precision, pinning Lily to the wall. Realizing she was done for, Lily decided to spite the Zombie King by throwing the Queen's head off the rooftop. The King, filled with grief and rage, watched helplessly as the helicopter flew away with his wife's killers. In his sorrow and anger, the Zombie King unleashed his fury on Lily, turning her into the next Zombie Queen. With 540 seconds remaining before the nuclear strike, the 2 had a chance to leave safely. However, Scott knew his daughter must be in the zombie lair rescuing her friend, and he decided to go after her, much to the pilot's frustration and cursing. But the pilot, being loyal, ultimately agreed to drop Scott off on the rooftop of the zombie lair. As Scott suspected, Kate had found her friend, and they were still alive. It turned out the Zombie King had a hobby of capturing people and slowly converting them in his lair, using them to procreate. Unbeknownst to them, the Zombie King was furious this time. Riding his warhorse, he returned with his zombie army, determined to ensure no one escaped. Scott and the Zombie King were in a race against time, Scott rescuing from above, the Zombie King pursuing from below. Kate and her friends tried to escape, but one was bitten by a zombie, revealed to be the former guard used as a sacrifice. Kate quickly shot the zombie in the head, but the gunshot attracted more zombies. Meanwhile, Scott pinpointed Kate's location, but the hallway exit was blocked. Kate and her friend turned and ran. The Zombie King commanded his minions to attack, quickly cornering Kate and her friend, forcing Kate to shoot in self-defense. Her marksmanship was good, each bullet a headshot, quickly decimating the zombies. Out of options, the Zombie King stepped in himself, with his mask protecting him and Kate out of bullets. Scott arrived just in time, opening a stairwell door for the girls to escape. He then launched a grenade at the Zombie King, blasting him away. Scott and the girls raced to the rooftop, only to find the helicopter gone. They were momentarily dumbfounded. Luckily, the pilot had a change of heart and circled back. Just as they boarded the helicopter, they saw the relentless Zombie King climbing after them, prompting the pilot to take off quickly. But the Zombie King, with inhuman speed, leaped into the cabin. His immense strength nearly caused the helicopter to crash, but the experienced pilot managed to steady it. Scott and the Zombie King engaged in a brutal hand-to-hand combat inside the helicopter. The helicopter shook violently, narrowly avoiding collisions with buildings. In the chaos, a stray bullet hit the pilot, injuring her. Despite the pain, she managed to keep the helicopter flying low and out of the quarantine zone. Scott struggled to aim his gun at the Zombie King's head, but the King broke Scott's arm, causing him to drop the gun in front of Kate. Instead of grabbing the gun, Kate used a fire extinguisher to help her father. Scott seized the moment to reach for the gun, but the Zombie King bit him before he could use it. The pilot wiped the blood off the windshield just in time to see the launched nuclear missile streaking toward the quarantine zone. A second later, the nuclear explosion lit up the sky behind them, blinding the Zombie King. Taking advantage of the distraction, Scott fired the gun, successfully killing the Zombie King. The iconic mushroom cloud from the nuclear explosion soared into the sky, and the resulting shockwave caused the helicopter to lose balance. Despite the pilot's best efforts to maintain control, the helicopter ultimately crashed to the ground. Sometime later, Kate woke up from unconsciousness to find that the pilot and her friend had died in the crash. Only she and her father had survived. However, her father had been infected by the zombie virus and was on the verge of turning. He pulled out a small wad of cash from his pocket and handed it to Kate, telling her to stop causing trouble in the future. Then the zombie virus began to attack his body. To prevent her father from becoming a zombie, Kate had no choice but to pull the trigger, killing him. As the sun set, a devastated Kate stood alone, the only survivor in the entire zombie-infested city. But the story wasn't over. In the flattened remains of the casino, Van der Rohe, who had been locked in the vault, miraculously survived. The nuclear blast had blown open the vault door, allowing Van der Rohe to escape with the money, making him the ultimate winner. He drove to an airport and planned to use a bag of cash to charter a private plane to take him home. Seeing the large amount of money, a flight attendant smiled and assured him that everything would be arranged. They even provided him with 2 attendants to cater exclusively to him. With enough money to live lavishly for the rest of his life, Van der Rohe seemed set. However, after drinking a glass of wine, he suddenly felt dizzy and unwell. Rushing to the bathroom, he examined himself in the mirror but found nothing amiss. Rolling up his sleeve, he discovered a bite mark on his arm, a wound inflicted during his battle with the Zombie King. Van der Rohe smiled ruefully, realizing that his new life was over before it even began. The captain's voice came over the intercom, announcing that the plane would soon land in Tokyo, signaling the imminent outbreak of a new zombie crisis. I am Movie Lover. Subscribe to my channel for more exciting movies. See you next time.